Kia ora, welcome to my morning ramble. Saturday, March the 4th, 2023. It's been a while. 11th of Feb, I think, was the last one that I really posted up, though I did put up a small video of the storm in our neck of the woods, so to speak, yesterday. Not particularly exciting, but it was exciting to be in the middle of it. We'll leave it at that. I thought I'd just do a quick update on what's happening with our solar because it's been a while. For those that may have been following along, you'll know that we're currently running everything off an EcoFlow Delta Pro unit, which has been absolutely brilliant. It's the only thing I can really say about it. The biggest limitation to it is that just as a standalone unit, it's 3600 watts, so it's 3.6 kilowatt hours of storage, which has been plenty for our day-to-day consumption. We don't really go through a lot of power here, but now we're starting to move into using larger appliances. We're wanting to move a freezer down from Ohio, so our power consumption is increasing. The other item that has, I guess, provided a draw on our unit is we're currently brooding chicks at the moment, chickens and soon some guinea fowl chicks. And while Dawn was, working on a completely off-grid solution for that, that meant, basically trucking hot water bottles in and out for long periods of time for 6 weeks, which, well, doable. Smarter, right? The thing I found was a unit, it came in various sizes. I went for the optimal one for us for future use as well, which pulls down 66 watts. This is opposed to the light bulb approach, which heat lamp effectively, which sucks power like nothing on this earth. So 66 watts is fine, but this thing is running 24/7, and 66 watts, call it 70 for math. You stack that up over 24 hours, and that's kind of half of our battery draw, assuming that we're not getting anything coming in. And we've had a lot of cloudy days, rainy days, where the cloud cover has been easily 90% plus. So we've not had a lot of power coming in, enough to kind of offset this and that. And then we combine that with our laptop drawer. When I'm working, I have my work laptop running. Dawn has her gaming laptop, which is a slightly heavier draw when it's running graphics, video processing, and things like that. So combined, we're kind of pulling a little bit more than perhaps we were previously. When I'm just kind of running on my MacBook, I'm not even attached. It's pulling next to nothing. So all these things do actually stack up. So going back in time, late last year, there was a sale going on. We wanted to get this thing up and running. We took that leap of faith, I guess, and went in and purchased an EG4 inverter, 48 volt, 3000 watt unit. One of the baby ones, basically, but it's more than enough for our needs at the moment, and we can scale it if we need to, or replace it with a large unit. And a 5 kilowatt hour battery. That all arrived in a good order. From the freight guy. We have an unwrapping unboxing video, and then you're probably wondering what happened after that. Well, long story short, it didn't reach full charge capacity, and after some fiddling around, it just was not charging, is the bottom line. And Dawn was the one who noticed actually that there was some bulging on one side of the case. So it's been sitting there, and I've been trying on and off to get customer support involved. And I'm not. This is not a negative video. There's a happy ending. hopefully. But the longer story short was, the busy small organisation, and I just was having no luck getting hold of support. Eventually went through their customer support. I got redirected to tech support, got hold of someone from tech support, sent through all the bits and pieces that got requested, and then crickets after that for a while. So I left it, and then eventually I decided, look, we have to do something, because we're getting now to a point where we actually need this additional battery capacity. And I didn't really know what my options were other than getting a battery from another vendor. Our desired plan was to work with EG4 only, because EG4 to EG4 comms, EG4 to EG4 support. However, it needs to do what needs must. So I reached out to their customer support again, because I was getting nothing from tech support, and I got lucky and got hold of Stephanie, and Stephanie has been amazing, from Signature Solar. Very, very helpful. She put me straight on to a tech, Daniel, who's also been amazing, because this is very new to me. So he was very helpful in guiding me through what we needed to do to basically try and troubleshoot the battery to see whether it was actually a mess, and capture some data and what have you. Anyway, long story short, finally got hold of somebody in support, and I'm only a small fry, or we're only small fries, but in the general scheme of things. But part of the whole point of this homestead video was to document our particular trials and tribulations as we kind of move to a fully off-grid setup. So anyway, Stephanie and Daniel have been great. The battery's going to have to go back. This is a 100-pound battery, so that's not an easy process. And noob mistake, of course, if you watch our unboxing video, we made the rookie mistake of cutting the boxing off it, because we thought it was all going to be good. So we purchased another battery. We were going to expand it anyway, and they've expedited it, apparently. Thank you, Stephanie, and for doing that. And if you are watching this, and it's going to be arriving hopefully Monday, according to the shipping notification on Monday. So we're going to go through this exercise again with another battery. So yeah, and then we'll send the other one back. It'll get RMA'd back, and it'll either be repaired under warranty or replaced under warranty, and we'll either get a credit back, or probably what we'll ask them to do actually is send it back, because we were looking at expanding anyway. We'll deal with that one when that becomes a thing. So yeah, back to kind of where we were late last year, I guess. On top of, so long down some of the rambles, as I tend to go off tangents, sorry. So yeah, the purpose of this was to basically give us this additional battery capacity. But on top of that, the inverter capacity allows us to put a larger solar array in, so we can actually drive more appliances, heavy machinery, stuff like that throughout the day. And we're moving into spring now, which means the temperatures are starting to go up, which means air conditioning is now a likely thing. So better to get this all sorted out now and go from there. So yeah, so that's the battery side of things, and there'll be more on that as we get that, maybe in unboxing too, and I'll probably spend a little more focus on capturing how we're actually putting this thing together a little more. The other side to the solar is our Living Free in Tennessee homestead community. Sean Mills. This is more on Dawn's side, because I'm not the social one. So she had a thing through Sean where they're actually he's the solar guy. Excellent fellow. Knows his stuff very well. So he's putting together a large order, or has put together a large order for the for our homesteading community of used solar panels, which is something that we'd looked at before, and Canadian Solar have a lot of these, and we went, yep, we'll go in on that one. So we're looking at a dozen panels, but there were some extras. So we're looking at I think 16 panels. So all up, assuming because these are used panels, you often don't get the full. Well, usually don't get the full rated capacity out of them anyway. But even conservatively, assuming that all the panels are good and we're able to get the full arrays up and mounted over time, this is not going to be an easy job. This is going to be a fairly lengthy job and be done in pieces. We're looking at somewhere around 6,000 watts of solar with what we've got, because we still have 4 more panels to put in. We've got 195 watt panels at the moment, 200 watt panels, just for easy math. So we've got like a dozen of those, and then these are 265 watt panels apparently, a little bigger than what I was expecting. So even if they're at reduced capacity, I'll just call them conservatively 250 watt panels. 16 of those, so quite a lot of power. And our inverter will only take 5,000 watts anyway, so we're going to have some excess panel capacity. Not that's an issue, because we can always get another inverter and da 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 da. So long story short, that's a lot of power. If you have 6 kilowatts of solar, you're not ever going to get, well, you might really peak conversion, but even half of that, 3 kilowatts over 4 to 5 hours is quite a lot of power. It's 15 kilowatt hours of power from that. So anyway, looking forward to that. And we'll be picking those up at the upcoming Self-Reliance Festival at the end of the month, March 25 to 26 in Camden, Tennessee. Shout out for anyone who may be in the area and wants to, spend a weekend with like-minded folks talking about preparedness and inspirational homesteading stuff and tips and tricks and what have you. So anyway, so lots of solar panels coming. Way more than we intended to get originally, but we will just use these over time and just slowly build the array out as we go and as our needs increase. So we're good for panels, great for panels, and have a good size inverter. We'll make good use of that. We still have the Delta Pro, which can still take its own input. Power is not an issue. Here's the funny part. So the properties across the road from us are owned by a different company from what we bought our properties from, and they've just punched a road in down on the corner there, and apparently sold 1 or 2 of the lots down there, and they're running power down the road. So I had a visit the other day from the local power authority, and from this guy who's doing the development out. And he's like going, well, we're going to put some power poles on, want to zigzag across the roads and stuff, easement effectively. So we had a discussion about that, and that was fine. He's like, well, do you guys want to go in on the power? And it's like, well, no, because we're off grid. Now, here's the thing. If it's relatively inexpensive to get a power drop, and it looks like it's about $750, once the power's in, then sure, I might do that. This probably sound like terrible neighbour stuff. It's not. It's just it's 12 grand to basically get the power poles down the road. And the reason we went into off-grid and solar in the first place was that was money that we would spend doing our own thing, so that when there are massive power cuts, like there have been, 115,000 people without power in our Nashville electric area with this recent storm, short of our battery capacity being depleted or our generator breaking so we can't recharge manually, or our solar panels are down for some reason, we're masters and mistresses of our own destiny. So that's where that kind of comes in. So along the lines, it was just like, if you guys are going to do it by all means, but we'll have a think about it. And Dawn and I chatted about it, and if we decide once they do this that we might get a power drop in, I think it'll probably be something that we drop into one end of the shed, and it'll be used just to power, stuff that isn't a draw on, heavy use appliances like our freeze dryer and, stuff that basically you don't want to, well, it'll be running a lot, but it doesn't matter if it's not running. It's not actually critical. And then we'll just continue our current plans, which is to wire up our solar and go from there. Because a lot of the stuff will be moving to the house anyway, once the house is built out. So, and that is definitely not going to be connected to the grid. And the other side of it is we don't want to grid tie any of our stuff, because then it's all got to be certified, and there's a whole mess of paperwork that goes with that. That kind of defeats the purpose of being, independent. And yeah, you can see where I'm going with that. So it's kind of funny because of the timing and everything, but whatever. Oh, on the other side, of course, is the utility bill for running, for use of power. So there is that too. But if we were using that, it'd be for primarily commercial purposes, for our use, for our home businesses that are upcoming. Therefore it's tax write-off anyway. So kind of 6 of 1, I guess. Anyway, some future guessing there. It's just turned into a long ramble, but it's a bit of a catch up. So if you're still with me here, congratulations. So solar catch up, right? Summary: Delta Pro's going great. Lots of power coming in. We have an abundant sunshine day. We're roughly 10 o'clock in the morning, 10:30 in the morning, and we've got 600 plus watts coming in. So, and it's only going to go up. So, an abundant sunshine day is great. And we're not even maxing out the capacity of what we currently have. I think that we had a really bright day, and bear in mind we're not even in summer yet. I think our current array, the maximum it can output is 1200 watts, and we got almost 1000, which is, considering it's not optimal, it's not. We haven't angled everything to be just so to capture every last watt of power that the sun gives us, and blah 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 blah. We're just like, here it is, low maintenance. It just kind of works, and it gives us more than enough power. So yeah, it's all good. And then we're sorting out the battery thing, and then we're probably going to expand that to maybe a 10 kilowatts, depending on what the state of this returned battery is like. My end goal this year, subject to finances, is to have a full rack of 5 kilowatt hour batteries, which is 6. That's 30 kilowatt hours of storage. That's way more power than we would probably necessarily want or need, but the goal is to sell the Ohio property, and we're still working towards that actively, and then everybody will be down here. There'll be a full team of family of 5, I guess, plus dogs and cats and all the rest of it as well. So the power will be used. And maybe that's actually one of the side things, side reasons for possibly getting a power drop, is that it does provide core power for at least supporting the kids and stuff, because they have game computers and things, and those are not light draw appliances. They really do slurp through the power when you're running games. So anyway, just something to think about. Some more stuff. So that is really kind of where we are at the moment with our solar. Things are still emerging. We're about to kick into spring. March 12th is coming up, which is daylight savings, spring forward. So I guess it's kind of technically the beginning of spring. And temperatures are starting to warm up. A lot more rain, and yeah, things are going there. So yeah, that's my ramble for today. If I find some time tomorrow, I'll ramble about how our rainwater collection has worked out. Forward notice on that one, it worked out very, very well. So yeah, we'll talk about that. Thanks for putting up with this longer ramble, and hope you'll have a great day as usual. Take care. Bye.